Mr. Anil Ahluwalia with us. Yeah. Welcome, sir.
Very good morning.
Very good morning, sir. It's a moment of joy and great privilege for us to welcome our worthy guest, Mr. Anil Ahluwalia, currently serving as Head Employee Satisfaction Enhancement, Bharat Petroleum Corporation, Mumbai. He has comprehensive experience of working in various departments in different capacities as General Manager, PR and Brand, Regional Fleet Services Manager, Regional Head Retail Business, Territory Manager Industrial Business, a wonderful human being who is constantly striving to work for a purpose as co-founder and trustee of Sanjeevani, an organization where cancer survivors are trained to become cancer caregivers. Sanjeevani was set up with the intent to work with underprivileged cancer patients in India and to bridge the gap between the doctor and the patient. Mr. Ahluwalia is an amazing leader, a demanding professional who drives result, leading from front and giving full confidence to the team. Wherever he has worked, be it PR, allied business or loyalty, not only he could take these to near heights, but also left everyone adoring him for his uncompromising value system and professionalism. We welcome you, sir, and request you to share your thoughts with the participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kaur. Before I start, can I just ask you, were you talking about me?
Of course, sir.
Because
Of course, sir.
I don't think I'm that good. I mean, it was very, very kind of you to say these good words. Everybody likes good words, you know. And मेरी वो क्या बोलते 56 इंच की छाती इस वक्त 62 की होती है, तो मेरी कमीज जो है थोड़ी टाइट सी लग रही है मेरे को.
नहीं सर, नहीं, बिल्कुल.
Thank you so much for the kind words, and a very, very are we in the afternoon or still in the morning?
It's going to be afternoon, sir. Just 2 minutes.
So very good morning, stroke afternoon to
Okay.
all the friends who have joined in here. A big thanks to the management of GGN Khalsa College and Dr. Arvinder Kaur, Dr. Mandeep, and Professor Parvinder Singh for even considering me to be worthy enough to be sharing my thoughts here. So a big thanks to all of you. I would like to start with a caveat that I was a born maverick, and maybe certain things which I might say might not be what generally are talked about in marketing or advertising or sales promotion or whatever. Before I do, Dr. Mandeep, can I have that screen share, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Slide 1. I would need your assistance because actually I am sitting at a place where I can't do that myself. I am not really going to be talking about marketing and digital media and the print media and things like that. COVID-19. Oh, there is enough discussion happening and everybody talks about it all the time. And what are the results? We had a lockdown. We had curtailed mobility. We had production loss. Obviously, consumption tanked. Nobody wanted to consume anything except for vegetables, dal, chawal, ghee, chini, and tea, the things we call staple in marketing. Stock markets collapsed. Personally, my own market capitalization went down by 40%. It was a harrowing time. Pay cuts, we all know about it. Job loss, I have purposely not written here the migrant migration. But these 6 things, what did they lead to? They led to an enormous amount of anxiety in everyone. Anxiety, whether it was related to health or to livelihood. Anxiety has resulted in depression, and trust me, holistically, we are looking at a scenario where suicidal ideation is going to be a big time problem for all leaders who are leading teams. Can we move to the slide 2, please? I said I would not be traveling the normal path. I would not say print is hampered, this is hampered, that is hampered. To me, every adversity in life, I and a large part of the population, and I'm sure most of you too, we consider every adversity, every disruption as an opportunity. Since we're talking about marketing today, of course, I have also read, I have gone through it, I have those 4 P's and whatever Z's and everything is ingrained in me. But to me, marketing is about delivering value. A guy, a person, an individual, a proprietary firm, a corporate, a mega corporation, if they know what value they are creating for their customers, what value they are delivering, and they are true to that value, every opportunity they can use to get into a huddle, reflect. I have COVID. This part of my business is down. Now what? I need a decision point saying, will I join the bandwagon which says it's going to be the Great Depression? It's going to be bigger than the Great Depression? It is going to be the end of the world? Or am I one of those who's going to get my team together at 9:30 on 24th, because I think 24th of March, the PM's speech announcing lockdown ended at about 8:45 or 9 o'clock. I don't know about you guys, but trust me, I am hypertensive, but my BP shot up. I said, now what? I could not think about anything. I requested Ruby, that's my wife. I said, Ruby, I need to get out of the house. I need to get out into the open. So I sat in my SUV and we went out driving. It was mayhem on the road, mayhem. Grocery stores had 200 people lined up. Chemist stores had a huge line going around. Everybody was thinking about no notes coming out of the ATM, la demonetization. We drove around for about an hour. She is a bureaucrat, a very senior bureaucrat. She is also an established authority in public partnerships, public-private partnerships. She's basically with the railways, she heads finance. And then we kept talking, Ruby, what now? And we decided this is not going to help. So we came back and we actually got into team huddles, she with her, I with mine, and we have a third team, which is called, which is the Sanjeevani team. And we finished the huddles by about 1 a.m. in the morning. The whole focus was, this has happened. Let us rethink. Let us see what we can do now. To do what? To be true to our value that we have promised to people. We never thought, we never talked about whether TV advertising will work, or print advertising will work, or social media will work, or this medium will work, or that medium will work. For 3 hours continuously for different teams, we were both talking about how are we going to deliver value. So we said, okay, next day morning, again, everybody just think it over. Nobody was going to sleep that night. I think hardly anybody slept. Think over, and again, next day morning, 10 o'clock, we will again have meetings with our respective teams, and basically to think about, rethink happened during the night, and renovate started the next day morning. Renovate, why I say renovate, it was about innovating. It was about total thinking. By 25th, which was a holiday incidentally, by 25th evening, we had our action plans ready. I, again, at the, people hate me for this, but it's a manufacturing defect, please. Action plans were drawn on how am I going to deliver value. We all knew there is going to be hit. We all knew every sector cash flow problems will happen. We all knew money is going to be hard to come by. But we were very steadfast on one thing. What is the value that we are creating, and how are we going to deliver that? 26th onwards started the process of reassuring our constituencies, whichever constituencies. For example, in Bharat Petroleum today, I had employee satisfaction with a role which I took over in February, and I was not ready for that role. We are 12,000 strong, spread across the country, demographically very, very diverse, right from let's say a driver to our executive directors who are very senior people. And the role that I currently have, which is basically about having the emotional, financial, and physical wellness of these 12,500 people. And I said, kya bhai, sir mudate hi ole pade. Bada acha kaam chal raha tha PR mein yaar. I was on the top of the things. I knew nothing about this, and COVID happened. We had to do, I mean, because we knew. So this process, the next process starting of reassuring all our constituents was whatever segment that we are in, we will continue. We will be there. We will help you. We will not let you down. Having said that, the process of re-engagement happened. And the process of re-engagement was a beautiful process of re-engagement. And I would like to share 4 stories where I have been involved personally. I'm not talking from information gleaned from secondary sources, of how these 4 organizations turned around the COVID-19 fear, hawa, and have been delivering value, and trust me, much more value than they were delivering earlier. All the 4 organizations that I will talk about, I'm not taking organizations which are, I'm involved with a lot of organizations. But the 4 that I am talking about are the organizations which have customer centricity as their core. These are all marketing organizations. These are all who exist for the sole purpose of keeping their customers up, about, and going. How these organizations adapted, what they did, and they came out victorious. Can I have the 3rd slide, please? I don't have too many slides. Okay, guys, my first story has to be Bharat Petroleum. My bread, butter, jam, everything, my life, I owe to Bharat Petroleum. And I'm a very, very proud BPCN, as are the others, anybody who is associated with Bharat Petroleum. Just a few words. I think we all have been touched by Bharat Petroleum. Whether it is Bharat Gas that fuels your kitchens, whether it is speed that fuels your cars, whether it is high speed that fuels your SUVs, whether it is the industrial fuels we give to power plants so that they can charge your mobiles and laptops and allow us to have this Zoom call today, whether it is the bitumen on which you drive your cars, whether it is the jet fuel which takes you around. These days it isn't. It's a business loss for us too. Whether it is the fuel that we give to railways, the defense forces, etc. Trust me, we at Bharat Petroleum touch each one of you a multiple number of times every day in a very open or a subtle manner. Having said that, you can visualize imposition of lockdown, what it meant for Bharat Petroleum. Were we at liberty to close our pumps? Were we at liberty not to give you gas? Were we at liberty not to supply to the essential services, to the police depots? We were not at liberty to do that. And we had to keep the supply lines on across the country. So while Anil Ahluwalia shifted to work from home, most of our people who work in the refineries, we couldn't shut the refineries. It takes a long time to shut and restart a refinery. In the plants where we fill LPG cylinders, in the depots from where we fuel that tank truck network that we have, we couldn't stop that. We couldn't stop that. Our people, while the country was under lockdown, while I was at work from home, but most of my colleagues were working outside. They were working. Their lives were still revolving around the core purpose of meeting your energy needs. We had to do a lot of changes in terms of communications with customers. Bharat Petroleum, I'm very, very proud to say that Bharat Petroleum, at least in the public sector space and maybe also in the private sector space, has one of the most robust ORM systems. Most robust ORM systems. We have a huge social media following. Our Facebook page has more than 11 lakh followers. I think 11 ho gaya shayad. Twitter has more than 2. We have a strong thing on LinkedIn on this. And trust me, we started communicating to our customers, our stakeholders, our investors through the social media. We started sharing how safe are the practices. The cylinder that comes to your house, what safety processes that it has been through. anything coming to my house at that time, in the first 7 days, I was not accepting, not even the newspaper. But if a cylinder had to come, is it a carrier of the coronavirus? So we launched a huge campaign. There were some virality to that, but we used social media extensively to talk to customers, to reassure that A, we are there, B, we are following safe practices, whether you come to our pump or we deliver a cylinder to you. C, we are not only taking care of your needs, we are also taking care of our employees. We immediately came up with something where any employee or his family member could seek free counseling 24/7 for any anxiety-related issue. We started a lot of learning development platforms. We do webinars, etc., etc., etc. What should I say? We started a very beautiful initiative. We said, let's leverage the power of technology. Since we are not able to meet customers one-to-one, let us leverage the power of technology to invite customers to talk to us. So all our field units were holding and they were inviting customers to join with us on Zoom meetings and tell us how we can serve them better. Trust me, there have been meetings where more than 500, 600 customers have joined in. Now, there could be a question, how would you invite your customers? How can you invite a customer? I mean, how do you have their coordinates? So, guys, we have the coordinates. We have the coordinates. You see, every LPG customer today books either on the app or by a phone call, and the coordinate is his mobile number. So trust me, I have mobile numbers of a huge population which goes into that. I was heading loyalty. Again, customers, we have their coordinates with their permission, and that coordinates were put to good use to talk to customers and also redress and resolve any issues that they have. Resultant. We've not had any supply disruption. We have not had any complaints coming in which have not been resolved. You see, in a logistics issue like this, there could be some complaints of late delivery of things, but they all have been resolved. We have been getting testimonials after testimonials from our esteemed customers saying that good job done. And it is a matter of great pride for all of us at BPC that we've been able to serve you guys wonderfully well. Thank you for giving us a chance to serve you. We will keep serving you, COVID-19 or no COVID-19. We have stood by the nation. We have stood by the nation. And we are very, very proud to do that. Okay, let me jump to another story. I am taking you from a story of a Maharatna, a huge organization having a current market cap of 84,000 crores, which is the highest in the PSUs anyway, oil marketing PSUs anyway, to a startup. Now, we all know, startups have their own challenges. Startups need money to keep going. So here is the story of a startup set up by two young boys who studied in America. They did their business from America. 2018 relocated to India just to address one problem. Why do farmers commit suicide? These two boys lived in a village near Nasik for a couple of months, understood, and then they came up with this wonderful initiative called Jai Kisan. Jai Kisan leverages technology and the long-standing value chains, the long-standing value chains which are there, to facilitate a suite of financial products for, they very beautifully say, for the or the underserved rural India. What does Jai Kisan do? Jai Kisan basically facilitates secured and income generating loans for rural borrowers, including farmers. They secure it from various lending institutions and then forward it at a cost which is absolutely affordable, and that cost they make affordable by their various other linkages. Within 1 year, they are now working in 9 states and 1 union territory. It is basically a fintech platform. It's a technology platform. You can understand, just imagine a farmer, let's say, who wants loan, a small landholding marginalized farmer who wants a loan. What all he has to do? We all know, we don't talk about it. What is the kind of interest that he ends up paying? We all know, we don't talk about it. So this was the unmet huge value proposition that these boys got into. And they were doing good, they were expanding, etc. And comes COVID. Their business, which revolves around 3 things. 1, equipment financing. 2nd, input financing. And 3rd, invoice discounting. Each one of them had question marks coming in. They were in the process of one of the funding rounds. Big question mark. We all read how a lot of startups who were looking at funds at that time either had to defer the plans or sort of had to make do with what was made available to them. So they couldn't get their proper net worth. What these guys did, they again went through the process of rethink, re-engage, renovate, etc., etc., etc. It's a brilliant team today of about, I think, 50, 60, have offices across 4 states. And they led out as to, this is what we want to do. And our core business is to help the farmer survive. And our core business is to get the farmer the proper loan. And was in COVID-19 scenario, anybody reaching out to the farmer to meet his financing needs? No. No one. They leveraged it. They leveraged their technology. Their team got the certification to work as essential services. And all their people, including the people who work in villages, went around saying, we are there. Don't worry. If you need something, let us know. We are there. Result? Oh, wow. What I know about Jai Kisan is, and I will just read from a news report, is that they have completed their latest round of fundraising led by eminent investors like Akram Ventures and NAB Ventures, along with existing investors and an array of HNIs and industry leaders, keeping their market capitalization intact. Interestingly, this was NABARD's, NAB Ventures is NABARD's private equity fund. First private equity investment in the startup in the history. So an organization like NABARD setting a private equity fund and then going and backing this up, these people must have found value, and these people must have found value in this organization. And they know that this organization is the one which is on the right path, delivering value to the right people. And all of us know, post-COVID-19, all of us want to become farmers. We want to buy land. We want to move out of cities. Someday, hopefully, after I retire, I will also love to have a small piece of 2 एकड़ की एक खेत मैं भी लेना चाहूंगा लुधियाने के पास, and वहां पे आराम से अपनी सब्जी वब्जी उगाऊंगा, because आज कोविड है, कल क्या होगा मुझे पता नहीं. People are starting thinking like that, and then everybody knows that if agriculture is the go-to sector, and if rural India is the go-to sector, then Jai Kisan is the go-to startup. I was talking to these guys and I was asking them, how do you feel with this? So they said, sir, we can only say one thing, and I'll just quote. They say the interesting phase in Jai Kisan's journey has now also made Jai Kisan a heaven for all driven and enthusiastic folks in the startup world, with a scale up underway at Jai Kisan for its next stage of disruptive growth. My best wishes to these young guys. They are, one is 26, the other one is 25. And I hope, pray that they remain on their path of value creation. And I'm very sure that they will keep on picking awards after awards for the excellent work that they are doing. My very best to them. Let me take you to the next story. Can I have the next slide, please? I move to another organization. I don't think you, no, the previous one, please. Yeah, and I don't think you heard about Albertron. It's a creative agency in your field, marketing. It's a creative agency. Little bit of media buying. But their specialization is in coming up with strategic solutions for brands focused on digital media. Digital. No print, no TV, no OOH, digital. And trust me, it's a team of 12, all youngsters who probably have seen the future, which relics like me have not seen. They know future is digital. Whether it is blockchain, whether it is IoT, whether it is whatever. But communications future is digital. Of course, print will stay. Of course, TV will stay. Of course, direct to home will stay. Everything will stay. But the share of the pie of digital will go up, and up. With a 3,000 rupees smartphone available with all my citizens in this country, digital is here to stay. If Bharat Petroleum could communicate through our digital platforms, anybody can communicate through their digital platforms. It's a creative agency, Albertron. Comes COVID. What happens to an advertising agency in such a case? It's a no-brainer. Client after client, client after client, client after client say, guys, we need to hold back. We just need to hold back. So in terms of revenue, 0. What did these guys do during that time? This was something which was a beautiful learning experience for me too, and therefore I'm sharing. They had the option to sack people. They had the option to tell people we'll have 100% salary cut, 50% salary cut. यार बॉस काम ही नहीं है तो कहाँ से पैसे देंगे तुमको, राइट? देना चाहता हूं लेकिन काम नहीं है, कहाँ से दूंगा? They decided to go through those 6 steps of rethink, refocus, re-energize. And initially, if we all recall, the lockdown 1 was only for a month. So maybe these youngsters thought, कि ओके यार चलो किसी तरह से 1 महीने तो चलते हैं, निकालते हैं. We will take a deep down into whatever reserves we have and we will continue with that. But they didn't do that, okay? They came up with a goddamn strategy. They said, okay, what were we doing till now? We were running behind deadlines. Mr. Ahluwalia says, I need these creatives, I need this campaign tomorrow. And we were running after deadline. Did we ever think about Albertot? Did we think about our branding? Did we think about personal branding? We never had the time. So these guys thought, okay, forget 1 month. Let's take a 2-month period. And we have not too much to do, very few clients remaining. We have all the time. And all of us remain connected through work for home and come up with something which is our redefined Albertot. Come up with something and come up with some kind of a product which I as Albertot can tomorrow go and tell a marketeer, okay, boss, this is it. This is the input. This is it. This is your ROI. This is your measurement. 2 months down, and I know that these people worked for about 20 hours a day. 20 hours a day these guys used to work. Work from home with no work at all, with no revenue at all. And they have come out with a product which I just saw the demo about 3-4 days back, and I must say that it is going to stand them in a very, very good stead as economy opens. They've also been continuously in touch with new clients, knowing fully well that they are not going to get business, getting pitches and making presentations. And Sham, that's the owner, I actually wanted to check with him yesterday before talking to you. I said, Sham, how is it going now? So he says, sir, we have started tying up new brands. I was so happy that these people took this opportunity, took this time to redefine themselves, kept the business going. Nobody sacked with no revenue. Nobody sacked, no pay cuts. And they have come out with Albertot 2.0. I don't know whether they'll call it Albertot 2.0, but they've come out with an Albertot 2.0. My best wishes to them. And I also sincerely believe that a lot of other agencies would also be doing this. But on the other hand, I also know of a lot of agencies and big agencies who've said 50% job cut and 100% job cut and closure of these offices, etc., etc., etc. So that was the story of Albertot, a very small, young organization of young people, and very enriching for me. And therefore, I thought I will share this story with you. The last story that I have to share with you, of course, is very, very close to my heart. Like ma'am said, I am co-founder of this organization. So before I share the story, please give me 30 seconds to tell what this organization is all about and how I, a pure corporate guy who lives, eats cheese sandwiches and samosas in meetings all the time, could even think of getting into something as unromantic as the social sector. Life does come up with adversities. We talk about demonetization, we talk about COVID, we talk about the 208 financial mess that happened. But these are not the only adversities that touch you as a person. 2009, my wife suddenly one day tells me, and that was, I remember lunchtime. She said, Anil, hey, look, I seem to have a lump in my breast. And I'm a very normal guy. I'm not a super normal guy, nothing like that. And so I said, so what? This is exactly the discussion that happened. And it was a Sunday, therefore we were having lunch together, and it is her Sunday custom. She went off to sleep. I went on to whatever nonsense I used to do at that time. I was loyalty head and I had no time to think about all these things. Died off. After about 15, 20 days, the conversation again started. We were having a post-dinner walk and she said, hey Anil, I have something to talk to you. And guys, when your wife says these words, I have something to talk to you, I mean, drop everything if you want peace in life. So I said, okay, yeah, tell me. I said, फिर यार कुछ वही होगा, ये नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ, फलाना नहीं हुआ, अर्ज इसने वो किया, परी ने ये किया. But she said, see, I think we need to see it. The journey started June 2009 to December 2009. We practically lived in and out of Tata Hospital. We were lucky, I would say. The director of Tata Hospital was a classmate. Financially, we had no problem. But unfortunately, it was a very, very complicated case that she had, and she had a very rare, aggressive form of breast cancer. 31st December, she forced the doctors to give her her last chemo because she said, I'm not going to take it on 2nd Jan. I want this bloody thing to end this year now, and I want to go and party. So we finished chemo at about 8 o'clock in Tata Hospital. From there, we went to US Club, and with chemo in her, she danced for 4 hours. Obviously, the next 4 days were very, very bad. Life carried on. And 2012, when we could get some kind of sensibility back to us, we thought that we should get back and try and give back what the Lord Almighty bestowed on us. Obviously, she is with the government, I am with the government. We had no money. But we had that vision that we would like to make the lives of underprivileged cancer patients a little more easier than. You all are aware, cancer is a very, very financially, emotionally, and physically draining thing. A lot of people do not take the treatment because they believe that all their life's assets will get finished in the treatment. India still doesn't operate, everybody doesn't have a insurance, medical insurance. लोग गांव में दुकानें बेच के आते हैं, जमीनें बेच के आते हैं, जब उनके बच्चों को हो जाता है टाटा में सड़क पे पड़े रहते हैं, for 2 months and 3 months. Once you go to Tata Hospital, Print media, digital media, radio, they lose a bit of relevance in your life. Something happens. Happened for us also. So we got together with a lot of friends, UC of Microsoft, director of 4 hospitals, etc., etc. We set up a board of mentors. We had a couple of meetings. देखो हम वही ना corporate people पहले वो meeting करेंगे क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है. But then a vision was defined for Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani started in 2012 with one person, one counselor working in Tata. Today, because it is such an unmet demand, Sanjeevani is today working in 10 states, 14 hospitals, and till now we have helped close to about 245,000 patients. We plan to add 4 more hospitals this year. We go slowly, slowly, slowly. We have a business plan in Sanjeevani, etc., etc. And this year alone, I hope the teams are able to help close to 1 lakh patients across the country. Now comes COVID. Now let's get COVID. Okay, Sanjeevani, what does Sanjeevani do? Sanjeevani does everything for a cancer patient other than medical treatment. We don't do surgeries, we don't do chemotherapy, we don't do radiotherapy, we do everything else. We work on your brain, emotional support, we get you money from various government schemes, we get you a place to stay, we get you jobs, we run the only certificate course in oncological care giving in the world. In the world, I repeat, where a cancer survivor is taken and trained through a 4-month course, very intensive course, I must say, to become a caregiver. So we work for the whole spectrum during his disease, after his disease, life beyond cancer, and get him a job, get him a rehabilitation, etc., etc. Now comes COVID. अब सब कोविड में क्या हुआ? अस्पताल बंद. Just imagine cancer patients who had chemotherapies planned, radiotherapies planned, surgeries planned, were living on the roads, had nowhere to go. I know I'm on a public platform, but I want to make a line. Till now, I don't know how many deaths have happened from COVID. We have some 7 lakh patients, 4%, 28,000 ho gaya hoga, 30,000 ho gaya hoga. But ladies and gentlemen, every year we have close to 4.5 lakh deaths due to cancer in India, which is 40,000 every month. Cancer is still topping the COVID figure every month, month on month. And the figure is going up because of the disruption in the treatment that has happened, because we need to lay focus on COVID. We do need to lay focus on COVID, but can we forget about everything else that is happening? Today, people don't want to go to a doctor. Today, doctors don't want patients to come. So what do? Again, that 24th night, whole night talking, our people said, sir, we cannot go to the hospital, but we have data of patients. We are a very data heavy organization in Sanjeevani. We will sit at home and we will give calls to minimum 30 patients every day. And we have 40 counselors. So we are talking about 1,200 patients every day, and check of their welfare on them. And if they have any problems, we will try and solve their problems on the phone, get them on a phone with the doctor, on the chemist, place to stay, etc., etc., etc. And these people did wonderful work from 24th till about 1st of July. My apologies, I don't have latest figure. Till 1st of July, I think they had helped close to about 53,000 patients through the telecounseling sessions that we did. Additionally, in telecounseling sessions, we also understood that while phone works, a physical meeting works much better. So Ruby started holding Zoom meetings with patients which is three people join in. Ruby plus a faculty who talks about holistic care intervention and a doctor. Now the doctor, incidentally, telemedicine is legalized in India. So the doctor sitting, for example, we had Dr. Kataki yesterday from Guwahati, and she was answering questions of all the patients from across the country. And trust me, anywhere around 150 to 180 people join on this Zoom meeting on a daily basis. The third thing that happened with Sanjeevani was, obviously, all the CSR money we all know is going where now? It is going to PM's Care funds. So every NGO is going to the same problem. Cash flow problems. And therefore, we started communicating with all our CSR partners. We started communicating with individuals for support. And the results have been so good that I have 3 days before got an information from the team. Then one corporate is willing to support us for additional 2 hospitals. And another corporate is willing to support us for additional 2 hospitals. And therefore, we will be able to add on those 4 hospitals that we had decided to add on during this year. So coming back to this, COVID is scary. COVID impacts me also. I'm close to 58. I'm hypertensive. I am in the zone. But COVID is not the end of the world. And if a marketeer, rather than thinking about what platform to use, what kind of promotions to come up with, he thinks about how am I going to deliver my core value proposition to people. How will I keep enriching lives? How will I keep energizing lives to such a corporate, to such an individual, to such a small firm? This will only be a blip. Of course, they will have to rethink. They will have to re-strategize. They will have to innovate. They will have to innovate and reassure their customers that when you come to me or I come to you, our transaction is going to be, number 1, full of value for you. Number 2, absolutely safe. There is no way that my visit to you or your visit to me is going to put you at risk in terms of health, or you going back home and putting your family at risk. So now, I'll just give you an example. I believe hotels have been given permission to start working with the restriction that they can have 33%. And this is where brands work, right? This is where brands work. And we were having a discussion last night. My daughter said, Papa, chalo yaar, ab chalte hain, kahin bahut pak gaye, you know. So I said, yeah, we can go. She said, okay, we'll go to this one. You will go to that one, you know, various chains. You've got the Airbnb, you've got the Saffron Stays, you've got Hop and Town, etc., etc., etc. And I told her, I said, see, Pari, I'm willing to go with you anywhere you tell me better. The only thing is, I will go in the morning, I will come back in the evening. I want to stay and sleep on my bed. Only dispensation I'm willing to give this is if I am staying in a Tata property. If we go and stay in a Taj hotel, I am willing to stay there for the night. I am not willing to stay anywhere else because notionally, my brand perception is not so comforting for me. I know the other brands would also be making the best of the efforts to sanitize, etc. But unfortunately, I do not have that communication, which has reassured me that they are safe for me to visit. I think I have overshot my time. Have I? Dr. Mandeep, have I overshot my time, please? Dr. Mandeep, have I overshot my time?
No, sir, it's okay.
Okay, so just take two more minutes and wrap it up.
Okay.
I promised you that this is going to be a different kind of discussion. I think I lived up to my maverickism and had a different kind of discussion with you guys. Value and delivering value is something which has been core to me for all my life. And if somebody can do that in an ethical manner, in an ethical, transparent, and caring manner, I sincerely believe that disruptions would only remain disruptions for such people, for such organizations, for such NGOs, for such startups. They will never, ever have the potential to kill the business. So my request to all the young people who joined us, thank you so much for joining. But when you are working out your marketing strategies, when you are working out your marketing collaterals, please, on a whiteboard in your rooms, have one thing which is written. See, whether your product is priced 20 rupees or it goes to the market with 20 rupees plus a discounting of 2 rupees, whether it is on the first shelf or the last shelf, whether it is a red color or blue color, these do matter. But if I need a product which creates value for me, I will not see whether the packaging is red in color, it is on the last shelf, and it is not offering me any discount. Case in example, wherever you have a big bazaar, right? They are never on the ground floor. Big bazaar is always put in a mall on the last floor, सबसे पीछे. Because उनको पता है वो जाएगा ही बंदा वहां ना. People will go. Coming to the future, stay true to your value. COVID is certainly not end of the world. Certainly not. I am absolutely convinced about it. We will have to learn to live with COVID. We will learn to deliver enhanced value to all our stakeholders, whether a customer, whether a family member, whether an investor, whether a shareholder. But coming forward, as I see, a couple of things will do. One, in terms of medium of communication, digital will become paramount. Number two, my core business, and I need to really look at what value I am delivering. Number three, certain sectors will gain prominence, certain might have to redefine what they do. Sectors which will gain prominence, obviously agriculture, rural India, rural markets, etc. And Importantly, and I just wanted to say this at the last so that it stays with you, what has happened in this past 3 months is a huge awakening of social consciousness. Huge awakening of social consciousness. देखो, पहले जब हम लोग निकलते थे ना सड़कों पे और कोई हमारे पास बच्चा आ जाता था, जैसे you say, uncle, can you give me some money or do this? I would say, yaar, chalo, chalo, chalo. But today, I feel blessed, I feel privileged that I have enough to eat, enough to care for my family. I have a house, I have a chhat on my head, and that whatever little I have, I need to share. So I have bought biscuit packets. I every day go to a bakery. I have that essential sticker on my gaadi, so I can do that. And buy some, Bombay mein pav bahut hote hain. So I keep about 50, 60 pavs and I go for a round of about 2 kilometers and share it with people who I think they really need it. What I am trying to say is this social awakening which has happened. Can you just please remove this screen thing? Dr. Mandeep, this screen sharing, if you can remove, please. This social awakening that has happened, corporates will also have, and marketeers will also have to take cognizance of this, that in future, organizations which display a conscious to the publics are going to be received much more positively than if I only keep on talking about my product, my service, my discount, my placement, my logistics, my offering. A huge chunk of the consuming population today are what we call the millennials, the Gen X's, etc., etc., etc. And trust me, they will look for organizations who have social consciousness, who are doing their bit to protect the environment. And if an organization is able to marry delivery of enhanced value within a socially awakened perspective in an environmentally friendly manner, using a preponderance of digital platforms, wonder who can pull them back. So thank you so much, Dr. Kaur, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Most of it, I think, came extempore because life teaches you a couple of things, and I'm sorry if I bored you people. I'm really, really sorry if I bored you people, because I didn't take big names like Dr. Peter F. Drucker and this and that and all that. They are, of course, our gurus, but I personally believe that life is the biggest guru. While we need to learn from everything, but the biggest learning experiences come from life. And of course, guys, a lot of gratitude to COVID-19 for teaching us so many things, for teaching us to live without the bile, for teaching us to experiencing our own kitchens, for learning how to press buttons on the washing machines, experiencing gardening and water, experiencing reaching out to people who are a little less privileged, are going through a bad time, and making your own resolves for future. Like I said, I also want a छोटी सी जमीन का टुकड़ा and I want to stay in Punjab, you know, after I retire. हाँ भैया, मेरी अपनी वही सब्जी थोड़ी थोड़ी उगा लूंगा, क्योंकि आगे पता नहीं, अब सब्जी वाला भी कहीं आएगा तो आप कहो कि जी सब्जी भी नहीं खानी. So that way. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being with all of you. So, जी.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर, ये हमारी खुशनसीबी होगी कि आप लुधियाना में आए और हमारे पास यहाँ रहें, फिर तो हमें कोई मुश्किल ही नहीं होगी. जब चाहेंगे हम आके बस आपकी बेल का बटन दबाएंगे और इतनी सारी इतनी प्यारी प्यारी कहानियाँ सुनेंगे कि एंजाइटी डिप्रेशन तो मुझे लगता कहीं रहेगी ही नहीं. I mean, it was so wonderful listening to you. वो पुराने ज़माने में हम नानी दादी की कहानियाँ सुनते थे और ये चीज़ें होती ही नहीं थी. आज आपने इतने अच्छे से, इतने प्यार से हमें ये सिखाया that we have to learn to live with the COVID. Learn to live with the COVID two ways. How to, I mean, one is learning the strategies of the business, how we have to be resilient, and then how to stock up on the generosity. This is the only way. And the gratitude, of course, because that shifts the paradigm. You know, there's a shifting of paradigm from have not to what you have. Saying thank you to Lord, to universe, whatever he has given us this. And we are so grateful to universe that you are with us today and to this academic platform that we are connected to you. And we have learned so much from your stories, from your experiences. And ये जो आप किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, जीना इसी का नाम है. ये जो आपका संजीवनी का उपराला है बहुत अच्छा है और हम भी कोशिश करेंगे किसी ना किसी तरीके से इसके साथ जुड़ सकें और आपके साथ काम कर सकें. सर